Have you ever been told your credit score is good, but had no clue what that actually means? Or maybe you've heard someone say, I have excellent credit, like it's a badge of honor. But what does that really mean? Here's the deal, your credit score doesn't just decide whether you can buy a house or get a loan. It can also affect your insurance rates, your ability to rent an apartment, and even whether you get hired for a job. But here's the twist. Most people don't even know the credit score ranges, the levels that determine whether your credit is considered poor, fair, good, or excellent. And what's even crazier, a single point can sometimes be the difference between getting approved or getting rejected. So, what are these ranges? Where do you fall? And how can you level up? Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand, what each range means, and how to climb to the top. Let's dive in. Number 1. What is a credit score anyway? Imagine your credit score as a grade for how responsible you are with borrowed money. Just like students get report cards, adults get credit scores. It's a 3-digit number that usually falls between 300 and 850. The higher your score, the better you look to lenders. Think of it like this. If you lend money to your friend who always pays you back on time, you'd probably lend to them again. That's how lenders view you through your credit score. There are different scoring models, but the most common one is the FICO score, used by over 90% of top lenders. Another popular one is the VantageScore. Although they calculate scores a little differently, their score ranges are very similar. Number 2. Why credit score ranges matter. You might think, okay, I have a score. So what? Here's what. Where your score lands on the credit scale decides how lenders treat you. A better score means lower interest rates. That's less money out of your pocket. Let's say you're buying a car. If you have a great credit score, you might get a loan with a 4% interest rate. But if your score is low, you could be stuck with 16% or more on a $20,000 car loan. That could cost you thousands of dollars in extra interest over time. So yeah, those ranges, they matter, big time. Number 3. The credit score ranges explained. Let's break it down. Here are the FICO credit score ranges, the ones lenders usually look at. Poor, 300 to 579. This is the danger zone. If your score is here, lenders see you as high risk. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It could mean you're just starting out, or maybe you've missed a few payments. Getting approved for credit is tough in this range. And if you do get approved, expect sky-high interest rates. Fair, 580 to 669. Still shaky ground, but not as risky. Lenders might say yes, but not with the best terms. Think of it like getting into a party, but having to stand outside the VIP section. Good, 670 to 739. This is where things start to look decent. Lenders trust you more. You'll get better rates, more approvals, and more options. If you're here, good job, but there's room to grow. Very good, 740 to 799. You're now in the upper league. Lenders really like what they see. You get great interest rates, better rewards, and stronger negotiating power. Exceptional, 800 to 850. Welcome to credit royalty. You get the best terms, top-tier credit cards, and often instant approvals. It's not just about bragging rights. It's about money saved, doors opened, and peace of mind. Number 4. VantageScore ranges are slightly different. VantageScore uses a similar scale. Poor, 300 to 499. Fair, 500 to 600. Good, 601 to 660. Very good. 661 to 780. Excellent. 781 to 850. Let's say you have a 675 score. Under FICO, that's good. Under VantageScore, that's very good. So depending on which score a lender uses, your results could vary slightly. That's why it's smart to know both. Number 5. What affects your credit score? Okay, now that we know the ranges, let's look at what actually moves your score. Payment history, 35% of your FICO score. This is the biggest chunk. Do you pay your bills on time? Late or missed payments hurt your score fast. Example, a single missed payment can drop your score by 90 points or more. Credit utilization. 30%. How much of your available credit are you using? If you have a credit limit of $1,000 and you've charged $900, you're using 90%. That's high and risky in a lender's eyes. Ideally, stay under 30%. Even better, under 10%. Length of credit history, 15%. How long have you had credit? The longer, the better. This is why keeping old accounts open, if they're not costing you money, can actually help. New credit, 10% applying for lots of new credit in a short time makes you look desperate or risky. Space out your applications. Credit mix. 10%. Do you have both credit cards and loans? Lenders like to see that you can handle different types of credit responsibly. Example, a person with a student loan and one credit card may score higher than someone with only credit cards, even if their balance is zero. Number 6. How to move up to a higher credit score range. You don't need to stay stuck in a lower range. Here's how to climb up. Always pay on time. Set auto pay if you have to. Even one late payment can drag you down. Use less credit. If you're close to your credit limit, try to pay it down fast. Example, going from 80% utilization to 20% can raise your score dramatically in just a few months. Don't close old accounts unless necessary. They add length to your credit history. Dispute any errors. Check your credit reports for mistakes. According to the FTC, 1 in 5 people have an error on at least one report. Fixing just one could boost your score. Be patient. Credit scores don't change overnight, but with consistency, they do improve. Number 7. Real-life example. Lisa's credit journey. Lisa is 24. When she got her first credit card, she maxed it out and missed a few payments. Her score tanked to 560. That's in the poor range. She didn't understand the consequences until she tried to lease an apartment and got denied. So Lisa made a plan. She paid off her balance. She set payment reminders. She used less than 10% of her credit limit, and she checked her report. For errors, within 12 months, her score jumped to 705. She moved from poor to good and got approved for her apartment the second time around. It's not magic. It's just knowing the rules and playing the game smart. Number 8. Does checking my score hurt it? Great question. And here's some relief. No, checking your own score does not hurt it. This is called a soft inquiry. You can check as often as you want, but when a lender checks your score as part of an application, that's a hard inquiry, and it can lower your score slightly for a short time. So yes, feel free to check it regularly. In fact, you should use tools like Credit Karma, Experian, or directly from your credit card issuer. Number 9. Why you might have more than one score. Ever seen 2 different scores from 2 different sites? You're not alone. You might have dozens of credit scores. Why? Different lenders use different models. Some use FICO, some use VantageScore, and each model might use data from a different credit bureau, Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion. So don't stress if the numbers don't match perfectly. Focus on the overall trend. Is your score going up? Are you staying in a higher range? That's what counts. Number 10. What credit score do you really need? Let's bring it all together. For a mortgage, lenders usually want at least a 620. To get the best mortgage rate, aim for 740 or above. For most credit cards, 670 will usually get you approved. Want premium rewards cards? You'll want 750 or higher. Buying a car, even a 600 might get you in the door, but the interest rate could be brutal. Bottom line, the better the score, the better the deal. Number 11. How fast can you improve your score? This is one of the most common questions people ask, and the answer depends on your situation. If you fix errors or pay down a big credit card balance, you could see changes in just 30 to 60 days. That's because credit scores update as soon as your lenders report new information, which usually happens every month. But building long-term trust takes time. Raising your score from poor to good could take a year or more of consistent, responsible behavior. Example, if you're at 580 and follow smart habits like making on-time payments, keeping balances low, and not applying for new credit too often, you could reach 700 in a year. Think of it like building muscle. You won't see abs overnight, but if you keep working out, they'll show. Number 12. How student loans affect credit score ranges. Student loans are installment loans, and they count toward your credit mix and payment history. If you make payments on time, your credit score benefits, even if you still owe thousands. But missing just one student loan payment can drag your score down fast. Example, a missed student loan payment could drop your score by over 100 points, especially if you already have limited credit history. If you're struggling, look into income-driven repayment or deferment to protect your score while managing your debt. Number 13. Credit builder tools that can help. If your score is low or you have no credit history, don't worry. There are tools to help. One option is a secured credit card. You put down a deposit, and that becomes your credit limit. Use it like a regular card. Pay it off in full every month, and your score will start to grow. Another tool is a credit builder loan, which is basically a small loan you repay monthly. And at the end, you get the money back. Example, if you get a $300 credit builder loan and pay $25 a month for a year, those payments show up as positive history. Some banks and apps even offer rent reporting to the credit bureaus. That means your rent payments, something you're probably paying anyway, can boost your credit. Number 14. How closing a credit card affects your score. It might seem smart to close an old credit card you don't use anymore, but be careful. When you close a credit card, you shrink your total available credit. That can hurt your utilization rate. And if the card is one of your oldest accounts, you also lose credit history. Example, if you have two cards with a combined $5,000 limit, and you close one with a $3,000 limit, you've just lost 60% of your available credit. Instead of closing it, consider keeping the card open and using it once every few months to keep it active. Number 15. How a credit score affects your daily life. Here's something people don't talk about enough. Your credit score doesn't just matter when you borrow money. It can affect your entire lifestyle. Many landlords check credit before approving your apartment. Some employers check credit before offering you a job, especially in financial roles. Even your car insurance premiums can go up if your credit is poor. So your score can literally determine where you live, what job you land, and how much you pay for everyday expenses. This is why understanding the ranges and improving your score matters before you need it. Before we wrap up, here's the truth. Your credit score isn't just a number. It's a financial power tool. Knowing the ranges is like unlocking the cheat codes to money. Whether you're starting fresh or rebuilding, you have the tools now to level up. So here's the big question. What range are you currently in? And what's your goal? Let me know in the comments.